is redemption. This is my truth. These are the words that I.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the one and only Ogranya in the building. What's up, Ogranya? How far? I almost said Jabo.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine too. If you said Jabo, it's fine too.
How you doing, man? Good to have you in Abuja. Man, it's been a minute, you know.
It's been. Oh, okay. No. I came last year, but that was very brief.
Oh, yeah.
Before
I
last
that.
year, it was like 6 years.
Yeah. I actually got used to not seeing you for a very long time and all of that. Yeah. But yeah, a good place to start from is why did you actually change your name? I'm sure a lot of your fans or your day one fans, like people like myself, at some point in time, I'd wondered like,
there was,
from Jabo to Ogranya, but what happened? Like, what really happened?
It was a number of things. The first thing that prompted it was I went to search on DSPs and Jabo was taken.
I see.
That was the first problem. It wasn't too much a problem, but it was a problem.
Yeah.
Social media as well, Jabo was taken everywhere.
Interesting.
At this point, I started to, somewhere in my mind, you have a name that is not taken anywhere. Yeah. I was thinking about it, but I still stuck with Jabo. I also found out that Jabo means Indonesian prostitute. Some slang dictionary somewhere.
Wow,
I saw.
I didn't see that one coming.
I saw that as well. But
don't worry, you're not alone. My name too, has one funny meaning.
Okay.
Apparently. Yeah. So,
Mono.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's some sort of sexually transmitted disease. But yeah, it's good to have you in the same boat.
Yeah. The last one was just I think I was in a space where I was trying to figure out purpose and all those higher things. And Ogranya just felt like it was most in tune with who I was growing into becoming than Jabo did. Ogranya, the name was given to me by both sets of my grandparents.
Oh, I see.
Separate from each other. It's
interesting. You mean like your grandparent from your dad's side
and my mom's side?
Oh,
they both named me Ogranya. And it just
so
felt
wait,
like,
but are they like from the same culture?
Yeah.
Okay, so like it has the same the same meaning, same name. Okay, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
So it just felt like, okay,
I see the power.
This is who you're going to become. So
interesting. What does it mean, by the way?
Wealth.
Oh, man. Talk about the money. $1 million man. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Now, let me take you back to your roots. Who would you say is your favorite and the one artist that you'd like to work with from Port Harcourt that came from Port Harcourt? I made it once, so it's going to be difficult.
You made it one. So it's very difficult now. But bro. Since I started music, I've always wanted to work with Duncan Mighty.
I mean, if you didn't see Duncan Mighty, I know there's Plantain Seller.
There's Plantain Seller, there's
Burner.
ODG,
there's
now Omale.
Omale, these guys too.
Ajabo Hustlers. Yeah, there's K-Style. There's so many beautiful musicians from
Port Harcourt that actually produced.
There's Wizard Chan as well.
Yeah. Oh, wait, Wizard Chan is Port Harcourt?
I believe so, yes.
Really?
Yeah,
interesting. Wow. Oh, yeah. Makes sense. I think it's
you've seen his regalia.
Yeah, Okrika. Yeah.
Between SS2 and A level, the driver who used to take us to work to school every day played Bright Somi Query Chap. He played Duncan's
music
every morning, and we knew all the songs back to back. Like,
Duncan is definitely a legend.
So
shout out Duncan Mighty.
Shout out really Mighty.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Now let's bring it to the the wider Afrobeat scene. There are there's a good number of
There's so many.
yeah, good number of artists in the scene on the scene now. But I'm not gonna limit you to one. But like who, let's say 2 or 3 of your top artists that you really look forward to working with right now?
Where do I start? 2 or 3 is also very difficult.
Well, I tried now from 1 to 3.
You're quite generous. I want to work with Ogranya.
Who?
Ogranya.
Oh, I've heard of him, but I've not really listened to his music as much.
I've been told that there's a similarity in our sound.
Interesting.
And I'm curious to explore that. You wouldn't classify Little Sims as Afrobeat.
These days it's hard to
Yeah.
Everything is Afrobeat.
I love the way she raps. I would love to work with Thames, obviously.
Definitely, you should. When I think of your music, I'm like, yeah, you've got to work with Thames at some point.
Bro, I want to work with Asha.
Oh yeah,
I want to work with Amory. I want to work with.
Amory.
I want to work with Big Wiz. I want to tell them. What's that thing he said? She tell me say. I want to give them what she tell me say. I want to work with obviously Burner. I would love to work with Burner.
Yeah, shout out Potako.
So there's so many styles.
Actually,
like I want to explore with so many different people. So.
Actually, yeah. I think yeah, you're right. There's a lot of variety, and the scene is
work with Charlie Poppy.
Really interesting.
His cadence. I feel like there's so much to explore within his cadence. I think it does. It's a signature.
Actually, yeah. He started
it's
something
really nice.
Something very new. I think you should also hook up with the Caveman. Yeah, I think you guys could.
We were in the studio once, but that it didn't. Yeah, we'll look into it again, God willing.
It's all good. How important is it for an artist to have the right sort of manager? How does it translate to how better the artist becomes?
It's in several folds. Primarily for me, the landscape has. I don't know if it has changed or it's always been this way, but you need a certain centeredness again to be able to dive into your creativity, to explore, because that's what this thing is.
Yeah.
To just explore as much as you're the mad scientist in the lab, fiddling with God knows what. But the landscape is such that you need representation in reality, in the real world, in the marketplace, figuring out what's best for you, what's best suited for your craft. So it's difficult for creatives when you're unable to have that, and at the same time you're figuring out your sound, yourself, and all of that, your brand. So you're trying to do this in your lab, and you're trying to do this out there. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And both will suffer progressively till something comes together. But I just feel like the road will be longer and harder. With a manager who's really invested, who connects with you, who's out there fishing for things to help better your craft.
It just does takes away.
First of all, it relieves you of a lot of headaches, and you can dive into your work.
So a manager is more like Panadol or something. No, maybe even Clear, you're hearing this. You be Panadol extra.
But yeah, it just gives you the freedom. Yes, it gives you the freedom to explore, to do what you need to do to better your craft.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. My next question was going to be, I was going to ask about, what to look out for in a manager, but I think you have, in what you said, has been quite incisive in the sense that it points out like you need someone who's out there, who can actually go around, network, and get the music where it ought to be, and someone who is in tune with your vision.
With your vision, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Very important.
So I guess those are the... Okay, pretty cool. Yeah. What is it about Ghana that seems to pull Nigerian artists, like Wizkid, everybody,
All the
everybody just sort of at some point pays some sort of musical homage,
Yeah,
or to Ghana. What is it about Ghana?
I realized this while I was already like frequenting Ghana. I realized that it was a thing. Fela did it. And a
Oh,
bunch of
really?
Fela
I
did
didn't
it.
know that part.
Yeah, no. Rumor has it that Afrobeat was kind of birthed in Ghana.
Sort of makes sense.
There's a bunch of other ones who I don't remember exactly, but a bunch of other musicians did as well. Burner even said if you stand in the shores somewhere in Accra, you can see God in the horizon.
Interesting.
But to me, that just speaks to my own experience of Ghana. It's just a very peaceful place to be. You know how, although it's changing, to be honest, things on the cast here. But
why is it the Nigerians that are casting the place?
That's one side of the conversation. The other side of the conversation is they are becoming,
the world is changing.
The world is changing. Let's just leave. You see how when you're in Nigeria, in some parts of Nigeria, at certain times, you're guarded. You have to wind up when you're in traffic at night.
Yeah.
You have to, if you see two guys walking behind you, you kind of have to slow down or walk really fast.
Yeah.
Like, I rarely experience those things living in Ghana.
Interesting.
There's a peace that I can't explain living in Ghana. And I schooled there as well, so that's part of it.
I remember that
I did
too.
4 years in Kumasi University.
KUST.
Yeah. So that was
Shout out to KUST.
Shout out to KUST. My manager lived there as well.
Oh,
Lives
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So it's a nice place to, it's like on holiday. It just feels very nice. I can't explain it. Beyond that, that kind of environment, it just fed into my music. It just fed into my sound. Like,
interesting.
You're at your center, your calmest. So you can create.
Between Abuja, Lagos, and Accra.
Why are you leaving out Port Harcourt?
Oh, actually, Port Harcourt. But okay. Does Port Harcourt really fit in this class of cities? Anyway, did you actually make music in Port Harcourt? I guess that's why I'm leaving it out. Okay. Because I know musically, I'd say Abuja.
I understand you. Yeah.
So which of these cities would you say, first of all, you enjoy the most? Then second, like outside of enjoying, which of these cities have like the most imprint on your music in terms of, how much you've progressed?
It's a difficult question. The later part of the question is difficult. But all the cities have served my development very crucially at different points, at different phases. But the master city has to be...
With the master plan, this is the master plan.
It has to be Abuja.
Woo!
Abuja
in the house.
I started in Port Harcourt, and first of all, I write my best songs in Port Harcourt. I have
really interesting.
My best songs, Higher, Serenade, Don't Leave Me, Imperfect. All my best songs. I wrote.
Interesting.
Yeah, Port Harcourt has a way of doing that thing to me.
Interesting.
But Abuja was the first place I got like utmost freedom to express myself creatively. The first set of studios I went to in Port Harcourt to record music.
Yeah. I
gave them the instrumental, I started singing. And the engineer looked at me like, they whine me, like, wait till they sing. It's like, what about this thing? This thing didn't move. Why are you doing this?
This didn't move market.
Didn't move, like, this guy will be... It's only until recently, in the last 5, 6 years, that the alternative scene in Port Harcourt has started to blossom.
Interesting.
I'm back home and I'm hearing different types of artists doing... There's this guy, Yellow World, I think is what he's called. His R&B, I was listening to it the other day, and I'm like, 8 years ago...
You dare not.
you can't do this and have a following. But yeah, Abuja... I don't know, there was a renaissance, a creative renaissance, an artistic renaissance that happened in Nigeria between 2013 and 17, and Abuja was the hub. A lot of acts sprung up from that time, and I feel very privileged to have been part of it. Yes.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Abuja just lets you breathe. There's no pressures. Just go in. Fiddle with things, express yourself, create. That's what Abuja is. Lagos
is the awakening.
Lagos, I don't know what Lagos is, but Lagos is a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I've reached acceptance with what it is. And
so
it has reached acceptance for me as well. We just know how we relate. I go there 2-3 weeks, I leave. Staying in Lagos long term, there's something it does. The city swallows you if you let it.
Interesting.
The kind of music I created in the 1 or 2 years I lived there consecutively, I'm really proud of it. But it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like
you can feel the Lagos in it.
I don't know how to even release those songs.
Really? Oh, they're not even. I was gonna ask you next. That's
the majority of them, or the crux of them, are not out yet.
Interesting.
Lagos is like steroids. I don't know how to explain it. Accra takes all of it and like. It has elements of Abuja, it has elements of Lagos, it has elements of Port Harcourt, and it's just, so this is what it is for me.
Yeah, now that you said it, actually makes sense because it just hit home. I probably had never thought of it like that, but my memories of Accra, you still have Jamestown.
Yes,
and everything.
There's a rural element to Accra. There's the city element as well. There's the urban thing going on.
Exactly. So they kind of rub off on each other. That's actually a brilliant way to put it. I remember when you put out music with Efia. And Efia is like a deity of some sorts. That's how I see her. And what was the experience like working with Efia?
Okay, a little backstory. In 2011 or 12. Ifya came to my uni to perform. I was flirting with the idea of music at this point, but I hadn't actually started to record properly. I had recorded one verse for one of my guys' mixtapes at some point. But I went that night to the show with a few friends of mine, and she was singing. And I've never been moved by a performance the way it was her singing, it was the way she carried herself on stage, it was the way she controlled the crowd. I saw people just swooning and everything, and I was just like, God, who is this? And a friend of mine,
Duchess, goddess,
she turned back and looked at, because she knew I liked to write songs. I had shown her a lot of the songs I had written. She turned back and looked at me. She said, you should be doing this.
Interesting.
And my whole night crashed. I was like, oh, this girl has a point. And I fell in love with Ifya that night. It's like, I feel like part of the reasons I decided to pursue music properly was because of that night. So to actually eventually have a song with her, do a song with her, 2011 to 2019, about 9 years down the line, was a moment for me.
I can only imagine.
Unfortunately, I was in Nigeria and Clay sent the... I didn't get to record with her in person. But she recorded as quick as she could, sent it back, we mixed and mastered. I got to meet her when we were shooting the video. And she was the most... Professional isn't the word. It's like... Everyone was happy to be on set that day. It's my song. But everyone was happy to be on set because of how she concerted the whole process. It was it was beautiful to see. And I was really in awe. I was really grateful as well. So
that's amazing.
It was a moment.
That's amazing. It's always great to have this idea of, an artist or a celebrity, and then to know that when you actually meet them, they're actually personable and sweet. Shout out to Efia. We love you. Also, I know you've worked with Johnny Drill as well. How did the whole Johnny Drill thing happen? How did you guys link up?
That's another interesting story. I did a song with Alpha Ogini, put me on one of his songs. And yeah, he released it. It was a really good song the song is Odeshi. I think 2020 or early 21, I can't remember. Johnny Drew heard it and liked what I did on the song. Really, he liked it so much, so he followed me on Instagram and DM'd me, like, yo, this thing you did, really nice, blah, 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 blah. Of course, I followed him back immediately.
You following him.
And immediately he said, Baba, I get this track.
He does follow up.
That would be great for you, Shao. Thank you. Thank you for this, but I got this for you.
It's called slide back in the DM.
Yo.
Slide into you slide back.
And he was like, sure. We made arrangements and he invited me to Maven HQ. And
interesting.
Bro, it was such a sweet process. I think Clay was around in Lagos at the time too, so both of us went to the studio with him and just chopped it up, and his verse was done in one night. Then I linked him at his place. Subsequently, we mixed and mastered. He mixed and mastered this. He said, "No, don't worry, I got you."
Yeah. I just remember he
I got
does
you.
that.
I mixed and mastered his song for you, no problem. Then he said the song is missing something. I'm like, what do you think is missing? He said, you need some live instrumentation. I'm like, okay, what can we do? He said, no, don't worry, I got you. He called up his violinist and guitarist and they played like a beautiful sequence, and I'm like, okay. Okay, yeah.
That was an amazing track, by the way, and I'm also a big fan of Johnny. We've worked together a few times. He's been here as well. He's an amazing guy, Okay, so let's delve a little bit into Afrobeat. Of course, Afrobeat has become Afrobeat. It's great to see, what we've been able to achieve out of Afrobeat as a people and all of it. A lot of people have opinions about the music. It seems to lack in substance, leaning too much towards vanity. Is there a responsibility for artists to actually do better?
So first of all, in Afrobeat's defense, it's a global phenomenon.
Afrobeat's defense.
In Afrobeat's defense.
Attorney.
It's a global phenomenon. Listen to hip hop from the US. You can't. It's a handful of mainstream, at least. Mainstream. It's a global phenomenon for mainstream music globally. When I see these conversations, personally, I'm just happy they're happening. Because whether we like... And another thing is that this conversation is not for the consumers. I don't think it's for the consumers. They can lend their opinions, lend their thoughts, but the consumer, it doesn't concern you primarily.
Yeah. It's more an artist.
The conversation is directed to the artists, to the songwriters. It's not directed to the producers, because the music, the instrumentation has stayed evolving, has stayed progressing, has stayed developing. Producers are doing a madness in terms of the music.
Shout out to the producer.
Shout out to the producer. I listen to music for words. I don't listen for the instrumentation. That's secondary for me.
I tend to be,
I want to hear what you're saying to me. I want to learn something, because how I grew up listening to music or how I was introduced to music is you're learning things. You're hearing something you've never heard before. You're hearing something that if you come back 10 years from now, you probably find new meaning to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know too many Nigerian or Afrobeat songs that have this quality where it is that you come back time from now, or
it is still
like you're unwrapping and like it's almost a study. Now, I'm not saying you should be a professor and write music, but there's a narrative that the premise of Afrobeats was sort of built on. Mainstream Afrobeats was sort of built,
exactly.
And it has carried on. It has festered two narratives. You don't have to make sense. It doesn't have to add up. Just say something light. Just vibes. And this has been perpetuated. The kids have picked it up. It's flying. It's still going to continue flying. It's just that there needs to be a counter. Not a counter, but there needs to be another school, yes, who prioritize their pen, and this school, this sect needs to have a place in the mainstream as well for balance. Because it's not every time you want to listen to dictionary music.
Yeah.
The fun music there's nothing wrong with it, but it feels like all we are is the fun music, and that's not the truth of the case. That's not what it is. Another thing that I feel like this Afrobeat conversation, substance conversation does is it puts pressure on the artist, it puts pressure on the artist. We find that a lot of artists these days, especially young ones, they want the reputation of having sang or done a song off the dome. Freestyle. I think I blame rap music for this.
Yeah, I agree.
You're not Jay-Z.
You can put a blame on us.
You rap people. You're not Jay-Z. And even Jay-Z, he spent time writing
to get there.
Writing. He writes. You know, Burna Boy. He's able to do that now because when he started, he had rhyme book upon rhyme book, and I've seen him post it once or twice in the time I've been following his music, where he's just writing. You can't wake up that you want to start music and you're trying to spit everything up the top of your head and you're not processing these things properly. In my mind, that is where these things are born, where the music that eventually comes out feels like nothing, sounds like nothing. Just, to be honest, the producers are carrying us. The producers are really carrying us.
I agree, beat packs.
So you want the fun music in the mainstream, but you also want the music that you can see that a lot of care has been given to the words, the melodies. You want that too. And I feel like if this conversation continues,
it's going to have
to level the playing field.
No, that's very interesting. I like the fact that you've been able to point out that it's a conversation directed to the artist.
It's the artist
to do better.
You see these things online, and you have that song that Baba, that song should not come out. You think about it, you go back. Yeah, that's it for me.
True. That makes a lot of sense, and we hope conversations like this will really help to get things rolling. I see you like a project artist. I know there's Eden Evermore, which is probably the all-time. I mean, anybody who...
I agree with you.
And then that's where Higher is, by the Pretty Masquerade, tracks like that. Imperfect,
yes.
But there's one, Festival of Song. Yeah, that's the one where you had, what's the name of the track with Johnny Drill?
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah. You see.
You did very well.
I know my Ogranya. I was almost going to say I know my J-Bo. But yeah, are these the only projects that you put out? That's the only one I know.
Projects, yes. I have producer projects.
With Wonder Magic.
Wonder Magic and the Beatsmith. Kesmap as well.
Kesmap. Where's Kesmap?
Kesmap is around.
Are you serious in Abuja?
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out to Kesmap. Wow, interesting. Wow.
It's been a while, yeah?
It's been a while. Yeah, but I remember, you guys had something with...
I have about 4 producer EPs.
Oh, interesting. 4. Is this something you saw some other artists do and then you decided to do with producers, or how did that idea come about?
You introduced me to Magic.
Oh, yeah.
And one day Magic woke up and remembered me and said,
Indeed, Magic.
There was one night in Abuja, I don't know if you were there, he took me to some place in Wuse too and explained his vision and said, I want us to do this.
No, I wasn't there, but I heard of it.
I want us to do this. And we knocked out 2 artist-producer EPs.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that one actually. Then, had some really good tracks in there.
I met Beatsmith through a friend of mine, Inem, as well. So along the line, we have so many songs together. We just selected the best and put out an EP 2021. Kesmap, you saw the process. You were that eventually happened in 2021 as well. So
Interesting.
I have about hopefully 2 more out this year, 2 more producer EPs out this year as well.
Interesting. I think that's really a good code, you know. I would advise any artist
Any
out
artists, any blossoming young artists out there, find your producer friend.
Exactly.
And make EPs with them.
Exactly. And then it also takes away some of the issues with split sheets and stuff like that. This one, at least you co-own the project,
Yes.
so you share in everything. So that's
And God bless you, your producer now knows how to mix and master.
Hey, everything is sorted.
Everything. I just send magic vocals and I get
And he
songs
just does
back.
it. I think he's in the US now.
Yeah.
Which of the processes do you enjoy the most? Is it the writing, the recording, the performing, the one that you click with the most or you enjoy the most?
Or enjoy the most has to be the writing.
Interesting. I mean, you can see your pen game.
It's like, it's transcendental. So I'll give you an example. Sober. When I started writing, I didn't know what it was called. The producer had sent me the beat, and I just wrote some melodies to it, and I left it in my voice notes. This was 2019. This year, the beat just kept playing to me like, come here, pay attention to me. There's something going on here.
2019.
From 2019 to 2024. Then a separate verse I had written as a rap verse on some other beat entirely.
Interesting.
It just kept sticking its head out. Listen to me. So I don't know when that confluence happened, but I took that verse and I listened to this beat. And it was a perfect marriage.
Interesting.
And this is...
and it's nothing quite like that. I know that feeling.
It's like... it's magical. It's like...
Yeah, it is. It's like an artist painting and maybe...
It just happened on something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And wow, voila.
I did not have a chorus for the song. So I did that. I put those two together, that verse on the beat, and I just ignored it.
Yeah.
One random evening, I was going through my voice notes. I've had voice notes. I've been using the same phone since 2019. So I've had voice notes since then. Scrolling through, and I saw that I had a voice note about that beat. And I listened to it. And the voice note was perfect for the song.
Wow.
In that same, mind you, I didn't have a title for the song yet. In that same period of time, I was feeling the need to call the album Sober. Like the word sober just kept playing in my subconscious. It just kept, for weeks, it was bothering me. I flirted with the idea of changing the album title to Sober, but it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like that's what that word was coming to me for.
I feel you.
And there was a new spot in my neighborhood that I found, where I found some like nice fufu.
Oh, nice.
And you will not believe the name of this place was Sober Spot. Bro.
What?
The word was haunting me.
Interesting.
And it's not like the place they sell is fufu and alcohol.
I knew there had to be beer somewhere there.
Yeah, it's like...
like, who would call a place sober?
You go there every night.
Interesting.
Bear guys
Wait, this
drinking.
is where...
Accra.
Interesting.
Bear guys drinking.
Shout out to Sober Accra. I can't wait to check it out when I get there.
They're drinking, they're eating fufu. Like, that's what the place is like every night. Watching football, listening to loud music.
Interesting.
I don't know when it happened as well, but I just realized that was the title of that song. I traced the voice note back in 2019.
Yeah.
And I realized that in the chorus I sang in that voice note, I had the word sober there.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh,
it's like subconscious.
So it's like puzzles in your subconscious.
Yeah.
And some materialize like in my phone, like you keep around and you eventually piece together. And it's just...
Wow.
Oh,
That's beautiful, man.
yeah, it's really enjoyable. The other parts of it, the making money, obviously, is really nice.
I like that.
Every payday is a glorious day.
I like that.
Whenever you get to perform as well, it's different. It's completely different. To look in the eyes of people singing your song word for
Yeah.
word, and it's like, oh, okay. That thing sometimes I sat in my toilet to write. That's what someone is singing to me.
You know?
It's crazy.
That's
Yeah, recording too is another beautiful process.
yeah. I've seen you record, a number of times. So I do know that your recording process is really
It's
an
heavenly,
interesting.
bro.
Yeah. You should document it more and put out those
Yes, sir.
processes.
Yes,
yeah. Where do you make the most money? Is it from performances? Is it from streaming, or is it from Nollywood? Because there's Nollywood guys, in case you don't know. This is the actor of the year in the making. But anyway, which of these actually puts more money in your pocket?
Is obviously the streaming on DSPs, because I'm not performing as much. But yeah, it's the streaming. That's where the bulk of the money comes from. But yeah, the acting I've done but one. It was a nice check, but yeah, we're hoping to get more of those.
How did Nollywood come into the picture? Because at least we know music, we do know professionally architecture, architect, man. So, but now there's acting. How did that? Is it something that was there all along, or is it something that came by happenstance? How did it happen?
I've always flirted with the idea of acting. Like, it just seemed interesting.
Who's your favorite actor, by the way?
Al Pacino.
Ah, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
People say he plays the same character all the time, but I don't care.
I love that.
He delivers it to perfection.
I love that. Like, I can't even say it's like, I think one of my favorite Al Pacino movies would be, is he Every Given Sunday? I think so.
That.
It's like where he's like a football coach, and it's so gory and stuff like that. I don't know. I think, but yeah, I have a number of favorites actually. Al Pacino is great. Yeah,
I've always I just flirt with the idea, so from time to time, when I'm in front of the mirror, I'll practice an emotion or two or a line or two, but nothing really.
Might cry.
I wasn't able to do that. I still don't know how people do that one.
Why? Because men don't cry?
No, men cry. Crying is a beautiful thing.
I've never seen a man cry.
You haven't?
No, I mean, that's the words of Scarface.
Okay.
Never seen a man cry till I see a man die. Anyway.
I need to watch that again.
Pardon?
I need to watch Scarface again.
Oh, yeah, the movie, yeah. Actually, yeah, that's talking about one of the favorites.
But how did that happen?
Yeah, so you practiced in front of the mirror a few times?
I practiced in front of the mirror a few times. Well, nothing serious. What year was that? 2021, I think. 22. Asha's concert in Lagos. I opened for her. And the casting director or the assistant producer, I can't remember her role specifically, but she was in charge of casting. She said, you see those brief moments where you engage with the audience?
Yeah.
She said, when I did that during my set, my personality fit one of the characters she knew she had.
Interesting.
So she just penned it down. I said, yeah, I will think about it. It turned out the person they wanted to cast to play the role was unavailable. Something by some twist of fate, he was unavailable.
Yeah.
So last minute, she reached out to me.
Was this Freedom Way?
Freedom Way, yes.
Interesting. So the process was as back as 2021?
21 or 22, I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, 22, early 22.
Okay, and it's coming out now.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
So, yeah, she reached out last minute and everything, and got me to do a monologue, one of the lines from the script and everything, and they okayed it, and it was a journey, it was a process, a whole process. I had to do some acting lessons here and there, but But yeah, that's how it happened.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a different. Actually, it's a different thing.
World, right?
What are you saying? I acted first with you.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, actually, this was shout out to Ulan.
Shout out to Ula.
It's rain,
17 or 18.
Yeah, I think it was. Man,
I had two
I'm terrible with
lines
this.
or
Yeah, but in the end, you were still the main kind of like the main act because the story was about your character.
True.
So, but how's it been? How's Nollywood treating you so far? Are you getting more opportunities? Are you know?
I have gotten a few that I have. So I was having a conversation with one of the producers I know, and she was like, "What's more important than getting roles is getting roles that will be good for you." So I'm at the point now where whenever I get a new opportunity, I have to really double down on deciding, okay, is this suited for me or not? Can I pull this off or not? So I've gotten two now that I didn't think were good for me, and I had to decline. So yeah. And
why did you think it was not good for you? I'm
that's
just
another
curious.
conversation.
Okay, for another day. I'm not going to push it.
Yeah.
If you look back, if you had the opportunity now to invest in solving critical problematic aspects of how an artist develops, what angle would you invest more in? Would you be maybe setting up record studios that artists can access easily, or would you invest more in putting together like concerts and shows that help the artist express as it should be? What areas do you think are the most challenging and that is close to your heart based on your experience? If you had the money now, where would you put it to support artists?
This is a very ambiguous is not the word, but like expansive question, because different artists, different artists require.
Well, that's why I said your experience from
my
your experience. Yeah,
my experience,
Yeah.
off of my experience. Okay,
Yeah.
when I started out, you had to know what you were doing. You had to. You don't just walk into sessions and because there were not that many studios, well-equipped studios around. So it will probably be in training in professionalism, to train the act to understand that this is a job, this is a business, this is not, you're not having fun. In the real sense of the word fun. This is a business, and you have to start to treat it from day one as a business. You have to maximize resources. If you go into the studio to make a song, use your hours as you should use your hours.
Use your hours.
That type of thing. Because when money starts to get involved and you're booking sessions and you're doing all these things, there has to be return. You can't go in the studio.
True.
For instance, you can't go in the studio and that's the only time you're trying to write. You spend time at home writing as well before you get in the studio to record. These little things, professionalism, I would really love a system or a setup where artists are trained to be more professional, and not just in creating music, in relating with people and things like that. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. But thank you very much for finding time, and
my pleasure.
I'm excited we got to do this, and good to have you back in the city, and definitely looking forward to the album with open arms and all the great things coming in the future.
Amen.
Thank you so
pleasure.
much. Appreciate you, man. And thank you for not wearing cap, because there's no cap, guys, and it's a wrap.
You used to wear cap for no cap. I've seen you wear cap for no cap.